But you know what else people get addicted to? Emotions. Have you ever noticed people who seem to self-sabotage with certain emotions that keep coming up? From my experience, a lot of the times I would get angry and I would act or react to a situation in a way that was not profitable for me or that person. It either hurt that person, it either hurt me, or whatever happened. And afterwards, I would always feel bad about it. But it kept happening and I felt like it was out of my control. But it wasn't that it was out of my control, it was that I was addicted to it. And here's why that happens. It's called the crazy eight. That's what Tony Robbins calls it. These are the 6 human needs that all human beings have to fulfill in order to be fulfilled. The first is certainty. What is certainty? It means security. It could be financial. It could be your own inner confidence. However you see it, it means you have certainty in your life. Does that make sense? When your life has a lot of uncertainties, are you happier or a little bit stressed, anxious? When you're stressed and anxious, are you living the best quality of your life? Usually not. Okay, so certainty is something we all need, yes? We also need variety. Because if the same thing is happening all the time, we get bored. How many of you have been in a really good job, but you got bored of it? How many of you have been maybe in a relationship that was good, but you got bored of it? So we need variety in our lives, because without that variety, we won't be able to experience the full level of fulfillment that we want to have. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. We also need significance. What is significance? It's recognition. All the people that stood up and got clapped for, didn't you feel a little bit more significant? Yeah. Didn't you feel recognized? So all human beings need to feel unique, they need to feel special, they need to feel significant in order to be fulfilled. Make sense? We also need connection and love. As human beings, we need to connect with others. We also need to feel like we're growing. Whenever you're not growing, whenever you're not progressing, you feel like something is wrong. Am I correct? Yes. Many times in the job, people get frustrated because they don't feel like they can grow anymore. They don't feel like they can learn new things anymore. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. And also, we need to feel like we're contributing. We need to feel like we're helping others. We need to feel like we're making a difference in other people's lives. Here's the rule. If you find something that fulfills 3 or more of your needs, you will become addicted to it. You know people who become addicted to relationships? Because that relationship is meeting 3 or more of their needs. People that become addicted to video games, that particular video game is meeting their needs. Now, some of you are like, how could video games meet your need? First of all, a video game gives you variety. When you play video games, every level is different, every challenge is different. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. It also gives a lot of people significance. A lot of people that are not maybe winning in real life, they win on video games and they feel significant because of it. And I'm not making fun of them, it's just the truth, right? Sometimes when you play like Angry Birds and you get that little flash at the end, that makes you feel significant, okay? That's why people become addicted to those things, yes or no? They also sometimes feel connection and love. You're like, how the hell is this possible? You know, there's online gamers that they talk to and they become friends with. For some, they can experience growth through video games because as they grow in the game, as they become better, they feel like they're progressing. Would you agree? Yes. By the way, this is also why people become addicted to social media. What does social media provide? Variety. Every time you go on there, something new is there. One time you go there and you're crying because it's some sad thing. One time it's a happy thing. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. What else does social media provide? Connection. You feel connected to the world because of your social media. You also feel significant when people go like your posts and they go comment. You're like, wow, I'm so sick. Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. We talked about some tangible external things that people can get addicted to. But you know what else people get addicted to? Emotions. Have you ever noticed people who seem to self-sabotage with certain emotions that keep coming up? From my experience, a lot of the times I would get angry and I would act or react to a situation in a way that was not profitable for me or that person. It either hurt that person, it either hurt me, or whatever happened. And afterwards, I would always feel bad about it. But it kept happening, and I felt like it was out of my control. But it wasn't that it was out of my control, it was that I was addicted to it. And here's why that happens. It's called the crazy eight. That's what Tony Robbins calls it. And here's what the crazy eight is. It's 2 emotions that kind of bounce off of each other that human beings get addicted to. And that addiction creates self-sabotage. So I'm not gonna say most people, but I would argue that most people have these 2 emotions as their crazy eight, anger and sadness. Now, some people go into sadness first and then go into anger. Some people, like me, go into anger first and then sadness. But let me explain to you why that happens. When you have the emotion of anger, you feel significant. Everyone here has felt angry one time in their life, even, okay. We don't have any Buddha or monk people, okay. When you're angry, you feel significant. Listen to me, I should be heard. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. You also feel certain. I've never met someone who's angry who's not certain about what they're angry about. Even if it's BS, they're totally sold that this BS is exactly what I should be angry about. So they fulfill the need of significance and certainty with their anger. And by the way, these individuals who are more prone to anger, in their lives, when they don't feel certainty, they get more angry more often. When they don't feel significant, when they don't feel like they're getting recognized enough, they get angry more often. You know people who you meet them and you're like, why is this person always in a bad mood? Because they're not meeting their needs externally, so they have to meet it internally through their emotions. Now, is this the most productive way to meet it? No, but it is the way that they've learned and gotten into the habit of meeting it. Make sense? When you get angry long enough and at a high enough level, eventually that anger becomes sadness and depression. And there's a reason for that too. Now you have variety. If you're just angry all the time, you have no variety. So you need to kind of have sadness there so you can get a little bit of variety. And guess what else you get? Connection. With who? With yourself. You know, when people get into a victim mentality, it's because they're connecting with themselves. And then other victims come and connect with them, and then they have a whole victim, friendship, which is awesome. And they all sit around crying for each other and like, oh my God, I know it's unfair. And they go protest in front of West Georgia and whatever they do. I mean, okay, I'm not judging, it's just whatever, it's your hobby. But my point is that there is a reason for it because they need to meet their human need. So some people go from high levels of anger to sadness and depression. Also, some people go from a lot of sadness to eventually getting angry. So it's when you have enough of one emotion where you become sick of it that you go to the other one. Now, why am I going over this? Because if we're not aware, we cannot change. When you become aware that this is a pattern, now it could be different emotions for you. I'm not saying everyone is going to have this one. But when you realize that it's a pattern, now that awareness can give you the opportunity to change the pattern. Let's talk about the cycle of behavior. So what is the cycle of behavior? Have any of you ever had a situation in your life where you knew what you should do, but you just couldn't get yourself to do it? In this business, it happens all the time. You know you should study the license, but you find a way not to study it, yes? You know you should invite, but you avoid the invite. You know you should follow up, but you avoid the follow up, yes or no? Okay, there is a reason for that as well. What is a stimulus? It's an external event that you have no control over. So a stimulus happens, an external event happens, that event gets filtered through your unique belief system. Let me make this a little bit more simple. It's the unique story you put around it. So I'll give you an example. Let's use a relationship example because a lot of people can relate to relationships. One person has a negative relationship, okay? That's the stimulus. That stimulus goes through a filter or a belief system or a story where they say, all men are bad and I will never date another man again, okay? By the way, that's one belief system and that's one story. Now, that story doesn't usually stick because then they get lonely and whatever, but it's there for some time, yes? Okay. But guess what that belief system does? Let's actually talk about what it does for a second. What is their feelings and emotions towards the opposite sex now? Is it positive or negative? Are they going to attract better quality people to them, or are they going to actually, instead of even attract, turn people off in a way? Okay. So that feeling or emotion of what? Of lack of trust, of feeling bad, of being hurt, of pain, becomes a reminder in their brain. So the next time they're about to get in a relationship, they run away. And have you met people who have been, their heart has been broken and they don't trust? And yes or no? Okay. That happens because there was a belief and story that they attached to a stimulus that creates that lack of trust. Now, what is that person's behavior? Are they going to go on more dates or less dates? Are they going to be more open-minded to meeting people and socializing or less open-minded? Okay, and what is the result of that going to be? Probably not a very happy relationship type of lifestyle. Now we have another person who goes through a breakup. That person has a different belief system or a different story. Their belief system is, that relationship was a great opportunity for me to learn. That relationship was a great opportunity for me to find what I don't want. That relationship was a great opportunity for me to become a better girlfriend or boyfriend for the next person I'm going to date. Yes or no? What is that belief creates in terms of emotions and feelings? Positive emotions, right? Now they look at a relationship as a way to learn, as a way to grow, as a way to challenge themselves, as a way to improve. Yes or no? Yes. So are they going to be more open? Yes. And are they going to get better results because of that? Now let's bring it to the business. Are there people that hate the license? Yes. Okay. You talk to them and they're like, And by the way, these people are phenomenal. So strategic with getting away from the license. Things always come up. I was going to take the exam, but something crazy happened. I'm like, wow, crazy things happen to you every time you want to take an exam. It's weird. But it's not weird. It's called being human. And humans are very strategic, both in sabotaging their results and in creating them. So what happens to that person who hates the license? They opened the license course with the LQP, and when they opened it, they didn't understand what was being said. Is it normal that they didn't understand? Of course, because they've never studied this material before. But if in that moment, that lack of understanding gets filtered through a certain belief system, and then that belief system creates what kind of feelings? Discouragement, anxiety. Because if you think that you're not good enough, don't you feel anxious? Oh my God, I'm not enough for a license. You get stressed? Yes or no? Yes. Now, every time you think of the license, those emotions come up because you've trained your brain to go, that license creates these emotions. You trained your mind to do it. No one forced you to do it. So now, before they even open the license, they're getting anxious. So do you think they're going to want to find more opportunities to study the license or find ways to get away from it? By the way, some people don't have the issue with the studying, but they have the issue with the exam. They fail the exams, and every time they fail the exams, they go, oh, I'm so stupid. I knew I couldn't do this. Now, every time they go to the exam, what do they get? Anxiety. They get stressed. And it's not because they're broken. No one dropped them as a kid, and now they get anxious every time. No. It's because they have a belief system that is not empowering, but it's taking their power away. Now, can another person go open that license? They don't understand anything that's being said. And they go, that's awesome. I don't know what the hell this shit says. That's why I'm so excited to study so I can learn. Aren't some people like that? Don't you know people who don't understand something, I need to understand it now? Yes or no? That's a belief system as well. They get curious. They get excited because I'm about to learn something new. I'm about to test myself. There is people who speak zero English when they start the license. By the time they're done the license, their English is amazing. Why? Because they go, here's an opportunity for me to practice speaking English better. But it's true. I have some people that go, I don't know if I should come to this business or these classes because my English is not good. I'm like, that's why you should come, so your English gets better. How do you improve something? By practicing it. But because they feel bad about not being good, they run away. But if they felt good about it, if they looked at it as a challenge, then they would go towards it. Make sense? Your belief and the story you put behind the events that happen in your life will dictate the behaviors you will continue to do or not continue to do in the future. Some of those stories and some of those things might have happened when the person was a child. Okay, that doesn't mean that they can't change it anymore. They still can change it. I'm going to give one more example and then I'll go from this. How many people avoid inviting because they're afraid of rejection? Most people. Would you agree? Yes. Okay. It's because of the story or meaning that they put around rejection. Make sense? So one person goes, when I go talk to people and they say no, it hurts me. I feel like they don't like me anymore. I feel like that I'm not good enough. I feel like that I'm losing my image in front of them, whatever. That story, that was a story, yes or no? By the way, is that all true? Do you have a way to verify that these people actually hate you as a person and that's why they said no to a financial education session? Okay, so it's a story that you made up. Yes or no? What emotions does that story create? Fear, anxiety, stress, not fitting in, not being able to connect with others? Yes or no? The behavior here becomes what? You avoid invites because you don't want to get rejected. So that every time you're about to go talk to someone, you get scared. Let's make it a really simple story. I'm going to give you $1,000 per no. Every time somebody rejects you, you get $1,000. If they reject you really harshly, we'll give you $2,000. Did you get what I just said? Every time somebody says no to you, you get $1,000. Okay? Every time they say no to you in a mean way and it hurts your little feelings, you get $2,000. Is that okay? Okay. Bring me the most sensitive, people-pleasing person in the world. Let me give them this offer and watch them go. Don't take a sign. Please reject me. You know how people go on the streets and they beg for money? They'll beg for rejections. So what changed? I thought you hated rejection. I thought you were a people pleaser. I thought you were an introvert. I thought you were afraid of people. I thought they're, the boogeyman. What happened to the fear? Oh, the money was good. Oh, I see. Who here wouldn't take $1,000 per no? Honestly. But I thought you didn't know anyone. What happened? You were running out of market. What happened to running out of market? I thought you didn't know what to say to people. I just don't know what to say to them. What happened? Now I'm giving you $1,000. You know exactly what to say. By the way, bring me someone who doesn't even know what our business is. Just bring them from the streets. Okay? Random person. I'll be like, listen, we're doing something. Don't worry about what we're doing. You just got to go tell them to come to a meeting. They won't even ask questions. So all that happened was you changed the meaning behind it, and all of a sudden the feeling changed. Now the feeling is excitement. Like, man, every no is $1,000. Now the feeling is growth and progress, because now every time you get a no, it's like you're progressing because your bank account is growing. I'm telling you right now, I used to be afraid of rejection big time. I was a big time introvert. I wasn't a very social person. But I started telling myself that every no makes me better. Every no makes me stronger, because I wanted to overcome rejection. Rejection was hindering my life. It was reducing the quality of my life. Does that make sense? So I said, I'm going to do this business, if nothing else, just to overcome the fear of rejection. So now every no gave me excitement because it felt like I was getting one step closer to not fearing rejection anymore. I chose to give it that meaning. That's why I could go out there and invite people even though I was scared. So if you want to change your life, very simple. Change your belief system and change the meanings you give to things. If you got value from this video, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time you have a new video. And also hit that like button and comment below. What are some things you've done to make sure you stay disciplined and consistent with all the behaviors you need to do to achieve your goals? And I know you're someone who's already motivated, but if you want more motivation and you want to know how to motivate yourself more strategically, I have a video called Why Motivation Works. Click right here so you can watch that as well. See you later.